I'm Shelton Wilder, and welcome to Wilder Possibilities Podcast, where each episode follows an entrepreneur's journey into the transformative power of that light bulb moment where everything clicks. I call that the click. Those pivotal points that redefine our futures, illuminate paths to success, and even change the world. Now let's get wilder. Hi friends, welcome to another fun episode of Wilder Possibilities Podcast, and I have my dear friend Lindsay Litehiser here, and she has Lindsay Litehiser Design, and that's what she does, and she does a lot of different.
Yes, multi-passionate entrepreneur.
I love that. Yes, that was exactly
That's a thing now. That was not a thing growing up, but it's a thing now.
Yes. And you do so many amazing things.
Thank you.
We've been friends for so long. And you are one of my clients too. And we've bought and sold a lot of homes together. We're still on the path.
We're doing it. And over a decade, we renovated properties together.
Yes.
And I've gotten trained by Shelton. I know, what sells, what doesn't, which is such a key thing to designing. So I have so much gratitude to you for whipping me into shape and showing me the ways and the ropes.
Yes.
And I have 15 years of design experience.
Yes, and in the fashion world, we had a lot in common with that.
Yes.
So tell everybody about that.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
I love you.
I love you so much. And I went to school at Parsons for fashion design. So my first internship was at Ralph Lauren, and I was so excited. I thought I was going to go in there and start sketching and designing.
Internship.
They were like,
get some coffee.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, you can file the fabric, and that's it.
Yeah.
So for like months, all I did was file thousands of different fabrics. But it was a humbling experience, but it was so good because I learned luxury fashion. I understood textiles, which, fashion and interior design, they bleed into each other. And so that was right out the gate. I had a really good eye for elevated luxury fashion and textiles. So that I took that through all 15 years of my fashion design experience and into the renovations and interior design.
And what you're doing.
Yeah.
So tell us all the places along the way. Because the main question I ask here is, when did you get the click? Yeah. Like, what was that light bulb moment, or how did you even decide to go to Parsons? Where were you from? Like, what happened?
So I decided to go to Parsons because I was studying abroad in Spain. And I lived with a Spanish dressmaker.
Oh.
So I found myself staying in, learning from her more than I was going out in Europe. And I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
So that was a sign that it was a passion of mine.
Yes.
And so I went to Parsons for fashion design and then interned at Ralph Lauren, Nicole Miller. And then I worked at a bunch of different places to get a varied experience. Hood Hippie, Calypso, J. Crew, to name a few. And then came out here and continued to work. And I loved it, but it wasn't sustainable. I was working in India, sometimes 2 weeks at a time, sometimes a month at a time.
Oh, you would go to India?
I would go to India.
In your early 20s?
Yes, early 20s. And it was my first job, actually, when I went to India. And I was so desperate for experience and so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed that
so hungry.
So
my
hungry.
God. They were lucky to have you.
Well, that's sweet of you to say, but it was blood, sweat, and tears. And my boss, I remember, she was like, I can't afford to get you your own hotel room. And I was like, it's fine. So I shared a room with my boss. For a month straight. That's not normal behavior, But I was so desperate to break into the fashion industry.
You were like, fine.
I was like, fine. And she had insomnia, had night terrors. So I didn't sleep for a month straight. And I was working in these. It was so bad.
But
I was if anyone asked me, I'd be like, it's great. It's I'm in the factory and working till midnight and then
Lindsay,
coming back and not sleeping. I mean, it was crazy.
You were just going to put the pillow in the bathtub.
Yeah. Oh, I slept with a towel over me. If you ask my coworkers, that was the running joke in the office when I came home. They were all making fun of me, and I was like, "Hey, I did what I needed to do to survive.
Got the experience. There you go.
100%. Yeah. And so,
my God,
it's fun, but it's not sustainable for motherhood, right? So it's I got the click when I became a mom because I was like,
oh wow.
I love fashion, but it's not sustainable, and it's also not great for the environment. And when
the fast fashion you were talking about.
Yeah, just the fast fashion cycle. And I wanted to do, like, my mom has this saying of, you always leave the world a better place than you found it. And that was like a value that she instilled in me. And so it always was in the back of my mind, you know, like,
I love your mom too. She
loves you.
She's such a good egg. She's a great mom. Yeah.
So basically, you know, when I became a mom, my time, as you know, like, gets so scarce and precious. And so it was like, I really wanted to make sure that my work was a contribution to make society better. So,
wow.
And I'm so lucky to have found an amazing business partner who is just like, she's a writer, she's an amazing businesswoman, and she and I were able to come up with something that is, you know, very much needed in the market. It's a Luxe labor and delivery gown.
I mean, so this was so genius.
And that's when it clicked for me that, like, okay, I can be of service to moms. Moms, everybody pours so much into the baby, like with the baby shower.
Oh, yeah.
And as we should. And also we can splurge a little bit more and to have a more elevated birthing experience for moms.
Yeah, show it.
We have a Luxe labor and delivery gown.
Yes, it feels so soft, y'all.
Really,
it's so nice.
Soft fabric. And so the straps down the front are for skin-to-skin bonding, breastfeeding.
Yes,
time.
of course.
And then also they check your tummy a lot. They don't tell you that before you go in, but this is easy because you don't have to hike up your gown.
Hike up the gown, and then your whole everything's showing, and then your stomach too, and you're embarrassed.
Embarrassed. And the same thing for the epidural. There's snaps there so you can have some modesty when you're, you know, I was laboring for 39 hours with my first.
Oh, yeah.
It was a long time. So it's nice.
What did you wear with your first?
The free 99 hospital gown.
Yeah.
That's been washed 1,000 times and feels like sandpaper. And it was a rough recovery. And I just kept thinking, there's got to be something better than this, you know?
Oh, my gosh. So it really came out of, you know, your personal experience.
Yeah. And luckily, you know, my business partner also had a similar experience too.
Oh, really?
So
long
labor,
wow.
uncomfortable. So she and I we clicked in that our personalities are such a good complement, but that also we both had similar experiences. So we can really both go all in on that.
Yeah.
And provides a Luxe experience for moms.
For new moms. So tell the name is so good.
Little Shadows.
Okay. And tell why.
So there's a poem that talks about when you become a mom, you have little shadows that follow you around.
So true. So true.
But the nice thing is that you only have shadows if you have sun in your life. Oh. The sunshine is what creates the shadows. Yeah. So it felt like very fitting for us that's
so sweet.
We chose that name. So that's, you know, it's feels close to my heart because it's something that I lived and something that Lex lived too. And
yeah. Well, she seems amazing.
She's amazing. She's
your partner.
She's a really good writer, and she's taught me so much about business. And we have kind of opposite skill sets that balance each other out. And so grateful to her. I wouldn't be able to do it without her.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah. So when did you start Little Shadows?
So we started in January.
Yeah, you have 2 sons.
I have 2 sons. Yeah.
Yes. And their ages?
They are 1.5 and 4.5.
Yes.
Yes. And I get them involved. They help me go to the post office, and they help me pack orders. And it's nice because I saw my mom working when I was growing up, and I think that helped to really instill a good work ethic. Mm-hmm. And hopefully that's rubbing off on the kids as well too.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I see all your Instagram stories and everything about how you're like bringing them and going to find so you found the fabric, and then how long was it before you kind of launched everything? Seemed like it was fast.
It was really fast. So Lex and I had been talking about it for a long, long time. And then what kind of started the fire to get it going was that she was having her second son.
Oh, and that's what it was.
That was what it was.
Cool.
And so, you know, we basically really hustled to get it together so that, like, I literally drove up to the hospital with the gown right as they were putting the epidural in.
No.
Like, it couldn't have been a minute later. It was like I was like, okay, the fact that this all fell into place is a sign.
And you got your first sample. And
she wore it.
You busted it into the hospital.
I was like, hi, I'm here to see Lex Goodman. I just showed up at the labor and delivery ward. Like, I didn't ask for permission. I was like, I have to get this to her. And so something that she and I had been working on for so long, like the fact that it all came together at that perfect moment. It was like such a sign for us that we were on the right path. So
yeah. And she was did she have a little boy or girl?
She had a little boy. So we both have 2 boys.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And then, so did you bring the one with the blue?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So she wore the first gown. So it's nice because, she lived it. She lived the experience without the gown and then with our gown.
And so because you didn't. So she did.
So she got to really, tell that story and know that it's an elevated experience.
Yeah.
Which makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's a real testimonial.
A real testimonial, yes.
And she had her own for her own brand.
Yeah, and I think that's a big piece for me is how do I use my skill set of design to really create an elevated experience for others, whether that's, an elevated birthing experience or living space.
Yeah,
we elevate.
of course.
It is designed it makes a big difference. It's like your outfit is only as good as the room you're standing in, right? It aids into everything.
Yes, it's so true.
And it's just an extension of your personal style.
Very true.
And I have to say, so Shelton has taught me, she is always dressed to the nines, even in her pajamas, and it's just such a good lead by example thing of when you look good, you feel good. And
it's true.
It's kind of like you manifest a good life.
Well, yeah. I mean, that it has. I feel that way. I am Southern, and my claim to fame is I tell everybody I'm the most dressed up person in all of Los Angeles. People are like, oh, are you wearing the prom dress again? I'm like, I definitely am. Yes, I am. And I love to dress, and I'm so opposite of my husband, sweatpant lawyer, and then the prom gown. And I do because I was always in fashion, so I just love feeling good and put together, and it's just, it's what I did for so long. So,
and it makes a big difference. And I think, if we can provide that in the delivery room when you're not feeling comfortable and you've got a lot of,
yeah, well, I actually, my funniest, because I had my natural childbirth and it was just crazy. And I actually wore Shimmy, my clothing line. So we share that we've done, totally. and I give you so much credit because it was always so hard for me. But you guys are doing amazing. But I had my slip on and my grandmother's pearls, and they're like,
"Oh my goodness,
what are you doing?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is what we're doing.
You get it."
I was like, "I'm not wearing that thing. That thing is disgusting. I can't even let it touch my skin." It was like scratching my skin.
Oh yeah, the hospital
gown. I was like,
it's a real shame.
I said no, I can't have that.
It's time to change the way we think about labor and
yeah, because we spend so much. We get the doula.
Yes,
we have the doula there. You have your room that you decorate and you nest, and then you have all the outfits picked out for your baby.
Yeah.
And, I send always the blankets that are, have the name on it.
So good.
Everything is so organized. And then you're just like, okay, give me that cracker paper to put on my skin. You're like, no thanks. So
yeah, it's like stop the madness, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like spend it on that, enjoy yourself,
invest in experience
because you're wearing it for so long too.
So long.
Yeah, because then you nurse, then you sleep, then they take your baby to sleep, and then you're and you're still there.
And a lot of moms say they recover faster because they get a better night's sleep.
Oh,
and
that's a great testimonial.
Right? It's like, you don't have to, because a lot of, what I didn't know going into labor for the first time is how long your labor can be. And it's exhausting. It's a marathon. It's not like you're just sitting there. It's exhausting. It's like the last thing I wanted to do after I delivered the baby was like, oh, let me just get up and change into no, I was like, I gotta just pass out. I need to recover. It was a major thing. So,
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So it's nice to have an option of just, a little bit of luxury.
Yeah. And it's such a genius idea. And I was posting about it. And my sister Charlotte, who's pregnant, was just like, yeah. And you're sending me one of those, right? And I was like, yes. And Lindsay was so sweet. I'm like, well, we got to break into the Charlotte market, North Carolina.
Absolutely.
But because she's that age, she's in that whole thing. So she'll give you a good testimonial. Gets a cup. She's having her second son. So, but it was like, I think that moms, when they see it, are like, oh, Yeah, especially second time moms.
Right.
Are
they've
like,
been through the pain of it with,
oh, they're like, wait a minute. I think I need that. And
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
so
so
then your
right.
pictures are cute too.
Thank you.
Yeah, like the pictures, like
yeah, that's like part of it is like, and thank you for mentioning it, but it is.
Oh, you have the baby stuff. You have
yes,
the matching.
the matching mommy to me
That's
gown.
so cute.
So you can have a mommy.
And didn't we do a
We have
scrunchie?
a little scrunchie and an eye mask too. So trying to elevate the whole experience.
They thought of everything.
We're trying to think of what the mom needs and really making it like mother first brand instead of baby first. There's so many baby products out there.
Well, I have a thing to say about that. So, what I've always thought, and I've always told moms this, and I don't care if people disagree with me, is that the babies will follow us. We don't have to change our entire lives for babies.
I love that.
Like they don't know what they're doing. They don't come out with the schedule. Okay? They're not like, I need a nap at 9 and 11:30. No. So it's like when I was CEO of Bo and I was just having, Clark's mom, we were having to find a place for her to live because she fell down the stairs. So it was just this really wild thing. So he was on, 20 flights. We were going back and forth to Colorado. And so he'd just sleep in the car, sleep wherever. And it was just like, he figured it out. Like we were fine. It wasn't like, we can't go to this place because he's got to be in a perfect spot with a perfect noise thing. It's like, so he's such an easy kid.
He's so good.
I mean, they're such easy kids because they just like go with the flow.
They're adaptable.
Yeah. And so that's just
such
the thing.
good advice.
Yeah. And like, so as a mom, what's good for you and what's good for you is good for them.
And then the kids just kind of
they'll roll with it.
It's nice. And then they're more well-adjusted humans down the road.
Yeah. I mean, mine are very easy.
They're so good. They're so good.
But I mean, I don't know. It's just because we were rogue and we were like, well, we're going to go here and there. But
I think that's why they say like the second kid is so much more better adjusted because like they have to be on
they have to go with the flow.
They get to have their own schedule. So just it proves what you're saying to be true.
Laid back lane.
Start at the first time.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I better nap because I got to go to somewhere.
Totally.
Yeah. So
I love that. That's such good advice for moms.
Well, I mean, that's my only advice. Then do whatever you want. And if you like a schedule, then do the schedule. Do whatever works for you.
Right.
But I do like that putting. Moms have to like put their mask on first.
It's the only way. It's like, I heard someone say once, if mom's not happy, nobody's happy.
It's true. Happy mom. Happy mom is
happy kids, happy dad.
Yeah, it all comes together. Not just happy wife, happy life, but like happy mom too.
Yeah.
So do you miss the other like fashion part or do you like the design part or do you love that? This is like one product.
Yes, it's one product. And I like that we're really thinking about the practicality of a product instead of just like the fast fashion cycle. Like paper clothes, right? You wear once, get something new. And like really thinking about how to really get it out to as many moms as possible. We were just featured in Mini Mag, which I'm so grateful.
I saw that posted.
And so it's nice to like really put our energy towards getting it out into the world and getting it to as many moms as we possibly can. And so that's where I divert my energy to, is focusing on that end of it. And then I get, I'm a multi-passionate, so it is nice to like have the design business, interior design business, and be able to kind of, put my design hat on and tinker away on those projects.
So guys, the real reason is because
let's give them the tea.
She cannot like every time it hits the 2-year mark, she's like, we gotta move. And so it's like she had to bring her brain into helping other people remodel because she just wants to remodel.
I'm addicted to remodeling. It's like one of my most favorite things to
do. She's obsessed.
And so I have all these ideas. So it pains me to stay in a house longer than I have to.
I know.
But I'm driving my husband crazy. Yeah.
She's like the best client to ever have. But she's like, see ya. 2 years, see ya. I'm like, okay, we're going. They're the ones calling me. I don't even have to. I never have to call. She's like, well, in 3 weeks, it's going to be 2 years. So, okay, I guess we're doing this.
But I want my marriage to be a good marriage. I don't want to drive my husband crazy.
Yes.
So Shelton's like, you have to help my clients.
Yes, you have to help our clients because so what happens is we have the best contractor who I love. So but grateful. Like he needs a Lindsay. Yeah. And I can't do it because that's not my job. I'm not a flipper or whatever. I mean, we've done those projects, but like my clients need some help because if it's your first time, you're really clueless. You don't know who to call, where to go, all the resources, what looks good here. Oh my God, Schluters, like you make all these mistakes, like all these little weird details that you're like, oh God, I didn't order the right light switch. Oh God, I didn't order the right tile. I didn't measure properly. And it's like, so you're kind of the in-between.
Come in when people get stuck. It's nice to just have somebody who can say, well, this is what happened when I did this. And you can kind of guide them into a direction.
Yeah, you know all the mistakes you made or whatever.
And, like, we'll never do again. Like, I always order 15% extra tile because one time I got stuck with...
I saw that on your story.
Run back to Arto Brick and beg for a box. And they luckily had one. They're the best. They're so great.
Yeah, you love them.
I love them. And luckily... crisis averted. But so now I have all these things that I can share with my clients so they avoid the frustration or the pain points that I think so many people deal with. And that's why renos get a bad rep because like people don't want to, they're scared they're going to get stuck in those positions.
Yeah. Or mess up.
Or mess up.
If you mess up, it can be a really
expensive mess up.
A really big mess up. So
I'm there to help grease the wheels and make the construction process and also the design process. Really, I think can be daunting to people that don't have a design eye.
Yeah, but also you get really clueless. People get really stuck. Yeah. And so the overwhelm
is
the amount of choices.
Death by 1,000 cuts when you have a million decisions to make, right? It's like analysis paralysis.
So many. And so to have that person, especially because like your clients now, they're like a married couple and then she'll have an idea, he'll have an idea. You'll be like, what about this one? And they're like, oh, okay, yeah. It's like let's compromise on this.
Totally. And just having like, well, if we go this route, giving the background of what the practicality of the day-to-day will be like. Because that's a big thing, right? It can look pretty, but it's important to think of, will you be able to move around your house quickly? If you have to like... fumble around with things because the layout has not been thought through. That's going to be
the layout.
The layout
so
really
important.
matters. And really thinking about where does the sink go? Where does the refrigerator go? Like I walked into that house, I was like, we got to close up that door.
Yeah.
Right away. I knew but that only comes with experience of having done it.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to visualize sometimes if you haven't been through it. So it's nice that I can be of service.
Yeah.
Because that's what it makes me the happiest. Yeah. Is like, being able to help people and see the results. And
they can happen pretty quickly too. And then also say like, hey, I know you really like lime green, but like, I think you said you want to sell this.
Yes.
In like a few years. Mm-hmm. So let's stick with, white. And
totally. And
but a really special tile that is a Zalige that looks really
high end,
really gorgeous and beautiful. Yeah.
And so I think not many people know that there's like kind of two strategies of a reno. One is your forever home.
Oh, of course. Mm-hmm.
And then that's a whole strategy that we go into of everything you love. If it's not a forever home, what you said really matters of picking out materials that are going to age well.
Yeah, and I like clients to run this stuff by me, so it's really good because Lindsay will just talk to me and be like, hey, should we go with this? I'm like, no, let's just put some wallpaper in there to make them happy. You can always take that out.
And it's
because wallpaper you can change
100%. And that's the thing is it's like I like being of service, and I think a lot of designers, especially interior designers, they have an ego that they bring to the table. Like they don't want the client's opinion, right?
Oh, no.
They just want to come in and do it all. They don't want the clients to say, and that's the opposite of me, where I just want to come in and help make their vision come true in the most elevated way possible.
Yeah.
No ego. No ego.
That's why we get along so well, because like she'll say something and I'm like, oh, great. Okay, let's try it. Whatever. So ego just doesn't. It
doesn't work.
Not your amigo and anything. Ego, not your amigo, and it doesn't help in any industry, I believe. So, and we have a very similar energy. We have super high energy, high vibes.
Energizer bunnies.
But I mean, it's up there, but also just, well, I want to listen and give, feedback, but then not let people make mistakes.
Exactly. And just give suggestions. I think that's the biggest thing is like being an idea person. We could do this. We could do that. We could do just to keep the energy creative and going.
But what you do that I can't do is you're a whippersnapper on the computer. She is. I'm like, really?
I love
dating myself. I'm like, and then she'll be like, what about these ideas? And I'll be like, okay, I'll just get back to you. And like 2 hours later, you're like, oh my God, everything is kind of mapped out and all the colors and palette is there. And it's really.
Well, that's where my fashion design experience kicks in.
It is. That's so good.
And so I can do mock-ups and really bring it to life because I think that's, for a lot of people, there's a visual language that a lot of people just don't have.
Visual language.
But they know what they like. So when they see it mocked up, they can say, yay, I love this. But if they don't have that, sometimes it's hard for them to understand what it's going to look like.
So true. Yeah. I think you've gone to the help pick out slabs.
Yes, I meet. Oh, it's so fun. I love it.
She did the meanest thing. It was not her fault. My client loves to tease me, okay? And he's going to be on the podcast soon, too. And he literally was like, you have to text her this slab right now. I'm like throwing up in my mouth thinking about how ugly this thing was. I was devastated. I get this text and I'm like, I think I was at a lunch and I was like,
no, you're at a tennis match and you're
oh my God, I'm like telling the girls, I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to resell this. This is so illegal. I can't believe this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And then I was like, I did like the emoji like this, like.
You were so nice. You were like, oh, honey, can we talk about this?
Yeah. I was like, oh, wow. I was like, that's so interesting. That's when like we got to go. Yeah. I was like, I think we should really discuss this a little. Anyway, and
it was a prank.
He was loving the prank. And she was just like,
I was sweating. I called you immediately after the
Shelton's going to fire me forever. And so anyway, it was really fun, but it's so fun to get to work together because I have all these ideas for my clients, but I can't, like I have to,
you're
like
so busy.
My job is selling real estate. It's just like I have, my women's group that I had it with, my friend, it's so amazing what we created. And she moved to New York. So we're, I'm doing it again. Everybody keeps saying like, are you making it a business? I'm like, do you not know that I have a business? I sell real estate. Like I'm running a big team. Like I can't like do everything as a business. It's like a service that I do for fun and for free for these women to get together and meet each other. It's so a loving thing to do. And like, that's the other thing. I love connecting people. So it's like what I have done with you where it's like, oh my God, she has the best energy. She's the closest to me. I can't clone myself, but you can, but Lindsay's the closest.
I love it.
So, and you have that.
That's a huge compliment.
Oh, well, I love you, but I'm saying the other way to you too. And it's like, because you're even more have that organized with the computer, that you're able to provide that service is so amazing.
Well, it's nice. All my years with like Adobe Photoshop and all of that stuff, I can utilize that to really like be of service. That way.
And you make it for the client. So, so I love that part, but yeah, so, cause I can't, people were like I have shown my home or whatever. And they're like, oh, wow. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't go do this again like that. Like I had someone helping me a little bit, with mine. She's so amazing. But like we did a lot of it because Clark wanted to do a lot of it himself. So it's like going to each place. It's a lot.
It's a lot
time.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that I'm obsessed with it because it's my passion You know what I mean? I don't look at it as like work.
Yeah.
It's fun for me and it fulfills that need. So I'm not moving every 2 years.
So her husband doesn't want her to divorce her and be like, Lindsay, stop it,
100%. So that it really helps, and it's good to be of service in that way.
Yeah. And so one other thing too is the way we met.
Oh yeah,
was through dun 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 through Amanda.
Yes.
We met years ago.
She's my lifeline. She's the best life coach.
I mean, she's something else.
Has transformed my life.
Yeah.
And
and mine too, obviously. Yeah. We know.
I know. Sometimes I say, she'll joke and say, I might retire in Hawaii. I'm like, wait.
No.
I can't go anywhere.
She, not allowed. She can't. And she loves to yell at both of us.
Oh, yeah. Or hang up the phone.
Oh, yeah. She's out.
Yeah.
So, but it's been good because we have that like language with each other now.
It's so good.
Yeah. And you can't be a baby anymore.
No.
It was very good training.
Yes.
For just being a boss and a business owner is she's been great with that.
Oh, she's been amazing.
Yeah.
And like helped me to step into my own power. And
absolutely, I feel the same. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, anyone who's thinking about being an entrepreneur, I would say it's the hardest job other than being a mom, but also the most fulfilling thing. I remember I was having my second son and I was trying to wrap things up with work. And I kept telling him, I'm having a baby. Like, I was going to have a baby at midnight and I was on the phone with him at 10 p.m. Like, I have to go to the hospital. And
boss?
Yes. And I will be unavailable for 4 days. And his response to me was, I've had 4 kids. I'm sure you'll be bored at the hospital and want to check emails. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is crazy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so, I'm on the phone with Amanda and I was like, I have to figure out how to just step into my power and do what I know best. And so I would suggest to anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur, find a life coach that, can really guide you and don't feel like you have to do it alone because it's overwhelming.
Oh, yeah. I can't do anything. I mean, I like having
100%.
You got to have somebody to bounce it off.
And not have to take everything to your spouse. Like, that's been the biggest
oh my God.
lifesaver.
Oh, yes. That's the thing. I mean, Clark would just be like, this again? I mean, oh God. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no.
100%.
So we can call each other. Because I love her husband. He's the best. Well, but I'm the one that yells at her. I'm like, let's bring it back, sister.
And thank goodness you did, because I started a business because you yelled at me.
Yes.
And that's, how many people can say that, How many people can say that?
I was screaming at her. And then it was like, let's start a business. She has 2 people that yell at her, Amanda and me. No,
2 people.
All out of love. It's like,
totally,
sister.
Yeah. I grew up in an Italian family, like my mom's side, where yelling was just the normal language.
Yeah.
So I don't even register that as anything.
Me either.
No,
there's 6 of us. It was like savage behavior, like wild. Yeah,
wild.
Survival of the fittest. That's why the name is so perfect.
Yeah, I love it so much.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm so proud of you. You're doing really well. You're really helping a lot of people, and we got to get this word out about Little Shadows. It's so exciting. All the moms need it.
It's my passion to get it out there, just so we can really help and elevate the experience for moms, because they deserve it. Moms go through much. I mean,
instead of bringing flowers, send the gown.
Totally.
Totally. Your girlfriends, you can go in together and get that, for any baby shower. I just think it's like the thing to do.
It's so, and also we have a postpartum gown. So if someone has a C-section or they go into labor early, we have that option, which we've gotten great feedback on.
Oh, that's great.
We had to put up a wait list and we got such good response.
Oh, wow.
And then it was just like fire. When we went live, we were like...
It was like all sold out.
Yeah. And we just...
Because you're doing like kind of like drops a little bit. So I like that.
We're doing drops because I want it to be more sustainable for the planet.
And you make it in LA?
Downtown Los
Angeles. That's what I mean. That's amazing. Yeah.
And so it's not getting shipped. I mean, the what it does on the environment to ship overseas. It's a whole thing. So whatever
I know.
Made in America, reduce, the carbon emission. And then also there's like me, I love to thrift, right?
Oh, she's obsessed.
I'm obsessed. And
she's like, I got 10 minutes. I got a hole in my leggings. I'm going to go thrift some stuff. I'm like, and I always watch.
I love it. It's like, it's my favorite thing. So
hilarious.
It's like, I think a lot of people don't know, there's a lot of fabric that's not used up. And so there's like thrift stores of fabric.
Oh, I know. So there was all this vintage fabric. I used to make blouses, and I had like my own clothing line. I did that before. Yeah.
And so that's where we go. We'll get either, something that's vintage fabric or something that's just like, there's tons of it sitting.
Yeah.
Overstock. Or we'll just get something that's in stock. So we're not making things to order, because when you do that, you have to sometimes get 1,000 yards of fabric.
That's what the problem
so bad
is
for the environment.
That's what was so hard when I had Shimmy, and it was just like all the inventory. So it's so much better when you do it that way and you have the drops and you get the people in the waiting list.
Yeah, and then, I think the challenging part is like when the fabric's gone, it's gone. And then we always have people that are like, oh,
not this fabric.
Not this fabric. Like our robes, like we have,
yeah.
Robes with vintage fabric, and, people will say like, oh, is there any more of this type fabric left? And we're like, it's not. But, it makes it more special and unique in a sense.
Oh, yeah.
Can't get
or
more
one of a kind. I mean,
yes.
that's all like my line was all like one-off things. Yeah.
And it makes it more unique. So, and we're using fabric that's already been made. So again, back to the whole, like, how I'm always thinking, like, how do we make the world a better place than we found it? So trying to do that in every step of the way. I mean, I even thrift tile. I do whatever I can to it's in my DNA. It's just like
she has to
that way.
So this is what she's better at than me, because I'm like, what is the most expensive thing we can find? Lindsay's like, oh, we're gonna get that look, but I'm gonna find it for a deal. I'm gonna get a discount on it. I'm gonna
totally
really good.
And still high end stuff. There's still high end stuff out there that you can get. Yeah, that's just sitting. So.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
No,
part of my strategy.
Yeah, you're doing such a great job, and so amazing for your boys to watch you, what you're doing, and that your mom is there supporting, and your husband's amazing.
I'm very grateful to have the support that I do. And to have Lex, she's just
I cannot wait to meet her.
Oh,
she
I know.
Really seems so special.
You will love her and she will love you. I mean, it will be like
a little love fest.
Yes,
I love that.
100%.
Yeah. Well, anybody that I ever hear of is pregnant, I'm like, alert, so it's good. Okay. Well, where can everybody find your gowns and find you?
So, shoplittleshadows.com.
Okay. Yes. Shop Little Shadows.
And Lindsay Litehiser.com.
Yes. She was trying to come up with all these different names. I was like, yeah, what about your name? She's like, okay.
I know. I got yelled at for that too, and it was the best. I'm like, okay, moving forward.
Yeah, I'm like, SheltonWilder.com, LindsayLitehiser.com.
It's easier to find.
Yeah. It's like, that's you.
That's me.
Yeah. Okay. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye. I'm Shelton Wilder, and welcome to Wilder Possibilities Podcast, where each episode follows an entrepreneur's journey into the transformative power of that light bulb moment where everything clicks. I call that the click. Those pivotal points that redefine our futures, illuminate paths to success, and even change the world. Now let's get wilder.